Hey everybody, I'm Becky Adams. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel today. Today I have a project that I wanted to do just for fun using the Peachy Keen collection from Fancy Pants. And it's been a long time since I have used products from Fancy Pants, but I thought this Peachy Keen collection was so adorable and I wanted to give it a try. So I picked that up from Scrapbook.com, and I am going to make a layout today about, this was taken in spring of 2020 when we put in our raised garden bed. Ironically enough, this doesn't have a lot to do with the actual garden, but it has to do with my son, and we'll talk a little bit more about this as I go through the project. So I have this yellow stripe, and that is going to be my background, but since this is a photo that is taken outside, I wanted to pull in some more natural elements. And so the wood grain was perfect for that. So I have a wood grain background, or wood grain mat, excuse me, for the photo. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of work on the background before I adhere my photo. So as I mentioned, I have this yellow stripe on the back, and then I'm adding this white and blue polka dot along the top. I think it's like a 3-inch strip, if I remember correctly. And then I have this strip that I used a border punch on, and it's that wood grain, and I wanted to add a little bit of interest on this one. So I'm just gonna, anyway, I've got that lace piece. We'll put that right there. And specifically in this video, I wanted to show you how to layer and use lots of different ribbons and trims. So I don't know about you, but I have tons of ribbons and trims in my stash. And those are not something that I reach for often, but I really like the projects and have a lot of fun using them when I do. So I want to make it a point to use more of them. So I want to make sure that I have my title and journaling and photo in place before I start with the embellishments. So I'll just use my T-square ruler here to make sure that I have everything in place and that there's room for everything. I have my journaling printed here, and I want to make sure that I've got room for it over here on the side. So we'll go ahead and adhere the photo. And actually, more than using that T-square, I'm going to actually set that aside for a second. I'm going to line up my photo with the stripes on the background. Okay, so we've got that in place, and then I will pull my T-square back in and use it on my journaling strips. So with this one, I want my journaling strips to kind of be centered in like the middle of the photo to the left of the photo. So I'm going to use my T-square to get this first strip in place, and then after that I usually do pretty good with getting things straightened up. Okay, so now that I have my journaling strips in place, I notice that I've got them a little bit off center. But I don't really want to take them to move them so that they're centered on the photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this label die cut, and this is from Ellie's Studio. I've had them for years and years. I keep a little basket of labels right next to my desk so that I have them ready to go. So I'm just going to take that label sticker and adhere it right there. And then I will stamp the date in there. Okay, so I've got my photo and my journaling in place. I want to add my title next. So the title on this layout is All Grown Up. And I have my letter stickers. These letter stickers are from American Crafts in the Reaching Out collection by Jen Hadfield. These are a newer product as well. So my title's going to go right down here, and I'm just going to leave it there without adhering it for just a minute because I want an embellishment cluster to go right here. So I'm just going to leave it on the wax paper so that I can shift it, and then I will adhere everything in just a minute. So I have these 2 tags that I made using this metal tag die set from scrapbook.com. I love tags, and this seemed like the perfect fit for, anyway, the perfect die set for me. So these tags are going to kind of act as the base for my embellishment clusters, and I'll probably trim them down a little bit, but for right now I want to just place everything, and then I will start, I'm going to kind of lay everything out where I want it, and then I'm going to layer the ribbons and trims. So these 2 die cuts came in the collection kit, and all I did was stitch a wooden button from my stash in the center of each of those. So I'm going to put those, I know I want one of each of those in the embellishment clusters. And then I'm going to add some floral die cuts. Again, just bringing in a natural element because the photo is taken outside. And as I mentioned before, it's not necessarily about the garden. It was just one of those times that I had a moment of, oh my goodness, my kid is all grown up. So my son is 19, graduated from high school last year. He was one of the 2020 pandemic graduates. And when he pulled up with a trailer pulling equipment to help us in the garden, I had one of those moments of, oh my goodness, this kid's grown up, and it happened in the blink of an eye. Okay, so this is what I want to go in this embellishment cluster. I'm not sure that I'm going to put an embellishment cluster right here. I'm not sure about that one. We'll leave that for just a minute, and then this is what I want down here. So the next thing I'm going to do is put my ribbon and trims in place. Because I kind of want to weave these die cuts in and out of these strips. So I'm going to put down a strip of double-sided tape. This is a 1/4 inch tape, and it is from Thermal Web. And that is going to adhere this blue strip. And I don't even remember where I got this blue ribbon. It's been in my drawer for I don't even know how long. But I thought that this would be a good time to use it. So I'll adhere that right there, and then I will trim the ends and tuck them behind. And then on top of that, I am going to add this kind of a teal rickrack on top. I'm going to adhere that with this 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape. And really what I'm relying on, what's going to secure these ribbons and tapes the most, is folding them around and securing them on the back side. So I'm not super worried about them shifting because I will make sure they're adhered really good in the background. Another fun idea, if you don't have rickrack, would just be to add a line of stitching. Some chunky hand stitching would be really fun here. We'll just place that rickrack right in the middle, and this is actually the last piece that I have of this, so I don't know about you, but I always get a little giddy when I use the entire package of something. And then last but not least, Pom Pom Trim always makes such a big impact, and it's so fun to use. So I'm going to take, actually I think instead of using this 1/8 of an inch, I'll use 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to put that just, I want this right below that blue ribbon. Pom Pom Trim can be a little tricky to adhere. So I always, honestly, my first choice for this would be some red tape that I think, Thermoweb makes some red tape that is really like super duper sticky. If I had that, that's what I would be using here, but I'm out. I need to order some more. Liquid glue would also work well here, but I don't have time for liquid glue to dry. So anyway, I think that this layer of ribbons and trims is so cute and makes this layout extra special. Okay, now I'm going to start adhering the embellishment clusters. I'm going to take this tag and trim it down a little bit so that it can just kind of tuck right there behind those trims. Put a little bit of adhesive there. I'm using the polka dots to make sure that I have that straight. Okay, the next piece I'm going to put in place is this die cut that I added the button to. And we'll put that right. I am going to overlap the ribbon and trim just a little bit. And then next to that, I want to tuck in this flower die cut. I'm going to tuck it in there and then just carefully place the adhesive where I can get it to stick using pop dots. All right, so we have those in place. I have this little ticket that I want to tuck under here to kind of bring this embellishment cluster kind of expand this way. So we add that little ticket die cut, and then this camera die cut will nestle right in there to kind of fill that gap in between the tag and the ticket. Okay, and then we'll move on to the embellishment cluster down here. So I'm going to trim this tag down again, just like I did on the other one, and a little bit more. Apparently it takes me 2 times to get everything trimmed down. We'll put that tag in place just using the background as the stripes on the background to line it up. And if you'll notice, I have my 2 tags going opposite. I think that's just a fun way to kind of bring your eye in to focus on the photo, because I always want the focus of my layouts to be the photo. I want the photo to catch the reader's attention, and then to catch their attention and make them want to read the journaling and learn more about the story that I wanted to tell on this one. So I have this little piece here that I tucked under, but I want that to pop up here next to the photo, that leaf die cut. So we'll just add one pop dot here up at the top. And we'll tuck in this button die cut, or this die cut with a button, I guess. And since I'm tucking that kind of underneath, I'm not going to pop this one up. And then again, I'm going to use the ticket to bring this embellishment cluster over this way just a little bit. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to use it on this side because I want to make sure that I have room for my title. So we'll just pull that die cut up and tuck the ticket in that way. You'll notice I have repeating elements and colors in each embellishment cluster. We'll have this this little flower pop up, and I'm going to put that kind of, it will be underneath here. So next I'm going to make sure I'm going to put my title in place. Okay, so now with my title in place, I need to decide whether I'm going to do an embellishment cluster right there. So I'll just tuck these little pieces in, and actually I like it better without that. I like more of the, I guess, a cleaner look on this project, but I am going to use this die cut, kind of this leaf vine die cut, I guess you would call it, and tuck that into the embellishment cluster so that I have a repeating element. I have it repeating in this top cluster too. So we'll trim that down just a little bit, and then at this point I'm going to tuck my ribbons and trims around. For right now, I'm just going to secure them with a bit of washi tape, but I will come back and probably use liquid glue to put those, probably liquid glue and double-sided tape to make sure that those stay in place. The last thing I want to do is add a few enamel dots. And I think down here we'll do a combination of the kind of the red and the peach and yellow. And I think we'll do the same thing up here. Okay, just those 3 enamel dots in each cluster will finish things off nicely. So the last thing I'll do on this layout is I am going to put a little bit of white crochet thread in both of these tags and stamp the date, and you'll be able to see that in the still shots. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't done so already, I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I upload a new video every Sunday and then 1 or 2 throughout the week. So make sure to hit that bell notification so that you will be notified when my videos go live. And if this is the type of project you would like to see, I'd love for you to give it that thumbs up so that both YouTube and I know what kind of content you'd like to see here on my channel. So thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon.